Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Frank Andrews, Dorothy Lucey, meteorologist Noreen Clark, and Jay Christopher on sports. This is Newswatch 16 this morning.
While the president is talking about trying to end the fighting in the Middle East, for some reason, American Christmas shoppers have a strange fascination with Army toys and Army clothes during this holiday season. More on that now from Newswatch 16's Bob Costantini.
U.S. military actions in Grenada and Lebanon, an increase in the popularity of G.I. Joe. Just a couple of reasons why Christmas shoppers are searching far and wide for a different kind of present. A few years ago it was designer jeans, but this is fast becoming the look in the U.S. Move over, Cabbage Patch Dolls, because camouflage fatigues are in also this Christmas.
Is there a size 8? Do you have a size 8?
Oh, I just gave the last one away.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
The military look is especially popular with kids. Carol Carney of Scranton is trying to find fatigues for her 7-year-old son. Do you think it might have something to do with the invasions of Grenada?
Definitely. I think so, yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you think your son watches that sort of stuff?
Oh, he loves it. He really gets involved with it, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's been 10 years since the Vietnam War divided America. Back then, many people didn't want their children to play Army. But now apparently things are changing, and the Army-Navy stores in the area say they can't keep enough small-size fatigues in stock.
Oh, that's the most difficult part. It's almost impossible. I mean, I've been contacting resources all across the country, and wherever I contact, they tell me the same thing. They have about 80 orders for this kind of merchandise, and it's all small sizes.
It might have something to do with Mr. T wearing them all the time on television. I think, you know, normal little boys just like to play Army, dress up.
Whatever the reason, this and other Army-Navy surplus stores are very busy selling military clothes. Store owners say that's quite different compared to the last 10 years. Bob Costantini, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
And still ahead on the Wednesday Morning Newswatch, the chilly midweek weather forecast from the backyard will let you know what the possibility of a white Christmas is when we come back. Right now, 23 minutes before 7.
Experience the color, pageantry, and elegance of a special Christmas Mass, celebrated in the true Byzantine Ukrainian tradition. WNEP-TV is proud to present Christmas Mass from St. Nicholas Church in Minersville.
We have seen his star out in the east, and we have come to worship him.
This special Christmas service will be presented at 10 Christmas morning, right here on WNEP-TV 16.
Morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, 21st of December. Right now, 21.5 minutes before 7. Today's one of those forecasts. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute. It's bound to change. Here's some details with Noreen Clark. Good morning, Noreen.
Good morning, Frank. Well, this morning we have temperatures that are much colder than what they were yesterday morning. Jack Frost is nipping at toes and covering windshields, and our weather is going to take a turn to a more serious note tonight. Outside right now, it is definitely frigid at 2 degrees above. The wind chill is 6 below zero. The humidity, it's 59%. The winds are out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. And that barometric pressure is extremely high at 30.77 inches, and it is continuing to rise. Extremely high pressure over the area this morning. We have very cold temperatures, and up in Towanda it is in the minus digits, -3 degrees. Towanda, or pardon me, the Poconos -1, Hazleton 0, Sunbury 4 degrees, Pottsville 5, Allentown 6. Out to the west, Williamsport 4 and State College 8. In the satellite picture this morning, well, we have that high pressure, that Arctic air mass that is still gripping us in its cold air. It's provided us with clear skies and light winds overnight that allowed temperatures to plummet down to near zero, plus or minus a few degrees. Extremely cold. Today, this high pressure is still going to control us with bright sunshine this morning, but with extremely cold temperatures. During the day, it'll begin to slide off to the east, providing us with an easterly wind. It's beginning to set up right now. This easterly wind will bring in a little bit more moisture, clouding us up as we head into the afternoon hours. At the same time, a storm that's now over the southwest, out over New Mexico, it's heading to the east. There is snow over the upper Midwest and through the Ohio Valley. There's freezing rain out over the southern plains. This is heading toward us for tonight. I expect snow to begin this evening. 2 to 3 inches could accumulate before changing over to sleet and freezing rain late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Roads could be extremely icy tomorrow during the morning hours, and it may not change over to rain. It may change over to rain, but if you're heading out for a holiday vacation or traveling someplace tomorrow, it might be best to leave today or to wait another day, because tomorrow does not look good for driving. Let's check the forecast for today. We're going to see bright sunshine this morning, but this afternoon increasingly cloudy skies. Temperatures are going to remain sub-freezing during the day. Clark's Green 22 degrees, out in Williamsport 23, Danville 24, Minersville 26, and Bangor 25 degrees. Winds are going to be out of the southeast at about 15 miles per hour, and with sunny to partly sunny conditions, the Health Watch with very cold temperatures looks like, well, we have some below normal readings in the resistance to aches and pains in the Health Watch, and average conditions otherwise. And here's our Health Watch. Yes, below normal in the resistance to aches and pains, and average in the other categories. And here's how we see the forecast. Bright sunshine this morning, extremely cold temperatures, increasingly cloudy in the afternoon, temperatures rising up into the low 20s, near 20 degrees. Tonight, snow will develop 1 to 2 inches, or I should say 2 to 3 inches accumulating before changing over to sleet and freezing rain by late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Roads could be icy during the day on Thursday. Before it changes over to rain, it may not change over to rain. There may be a possibility that we just have an icy condition during the day. Temperatures reaching up to about the mid-30s. On Friday, snow flurries, and Saturday, more cold air. So I just want to warn people that tomorrow does look like a very bad day as far as traveling. Frank?
Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment with more local news, weather, and sports, plus the end of the strike at Greyhound, the start of bus service in this area, and a story about a businessman helping the needy for Christmas. That story is next as Newswatch 16 this morning continues at 16 before 7.
All of you, not only around holiday time, but the whole year around, slow in a bottle. Enjoy the road.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you just joining us, it's 14 minutes before 7 a.m. This is Newswatch 16 this morning for Wednesday. Today is the 21st of December. I'm Frank Andrews. And the Labor Department in Washington is expected to release new figures this morning on inflation. Again, the numbers should be encouraging, at least according to government officials. Yesterday, new figures were released on personal income. They show that we all made more money last month, bringing the total earnings increase for the average American to 7.5% for '83. Right now, the inflation rate is running at about 3%. That means that the price of goods and services went up by 3 cents on a dollar last year. Today's figures really shouldn't change that too much. You know, some Greyhound workers are saying now that they really didn't like the idea of a wage cut, but they voted for the company contract offer anyway because they say they needed the money. Greyhound's long 7-week strike is over. This morning, all across the country, buses are rolling again, in this area too. Newswatch 16's Dorothy Lucey live now in Scranton with more on how this area is affected. Good morning, Dorothy.
Good morning, Frank. Good morning, everybody. For the first time in a while, and very soon, the Greyhound buses will be rolling out of the Scranton terminal. It is awfully cold out here this morning, perhaps so cold that the Greyhound bus drivers decided to give up their 47-day strike. For 47 days, they were walking up and down on this sidewalk in front of the terminal building, picketing and protesting, saying they didn't want to take a wage cut. They decided finally to go back to work, and they took a hefty wage cut, 7.8%. Here in Scranton, the buses will be starting in just a couple of hours, but in Wilkes-Barre, the buses have already started rolling out of the terminal there. Just a couple of hours ago, this was the scene, something you haven't seen there on South Pennsylvania Avenue for quite a while. People buying tickets to get on a Greyhound bus, and for Greyhound, it probably couldn't have come at a better time. This is Christmas, kind of a busy season for them when every one of us is trying to get home. So for those of us who ride Greyhound buses, really the strike didn't seem to work out too badly. The buses will be rolling again by Christmas, and Greyhound is going to start offering tickets after Christmas to get us back on the buses. For you and I, this didn't work out too badly. For the bus drivers who are taking home a paycheck, but a smaller one than they've had before, it didn't work out too well. Dorothy Lucey, Newswatch 16, live with the Instacam in Scranton.
Thank you, Dorothy. You know, Christmas has always been called a time for giving. Now, to many, that has become just a saying, but to one Scranton businessman, it is an annual tradition. As Newswatch 16's Bob Reynolds reports this morning, the merchant packages fruit baskets for the needy.
There's a lot of food here, thousands of pounds of food, and it all went to some poor families in Lackawanna County. An early Christmas present for them.
Some people don't understand. You see, they think, well, they're well dressed and everything else, but you can't eat your dress. You can't eat your coat, you can't eat your hat, but you got to have something to eat.
How important is it for you to receive this food?
Very important for my son.
Why is that?
He's staying with me. He has no place to live, and he has 4 children.
The folks here at the Missouri Banana House in Scranton, with donations from other businessmen, helped lay out this spread for the poor. For them, helping those less fortunate is becoming as much a tradition as Christmas itself.
If God has been good to you, you should feel that if you can help your fellow man, it's a privilege, even though there's a lot of work and everything else, but it's worth it because there's a lot of people that need it.
According to the experts we've talked to, the plight of the poor in our area is getting worse, and there's no sign that it's going to let up soon.
Well, we find out that there's more poor, but we find out we meet many more friends and many more benefactors.
But until we can put people back to work in meaningful jobs where they can supply the needs of their family and meet those needs, then we in fact are going to have these kind of operations developing more and more in the succeeding years.
That may be true, but for the last 14 years, needy families have been coming here for a helping hand. And that helping hand will be there as long as there's a need. Bob Reynolds, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
Sports is next on Newswatch 16 this morning.
Rocky III's Challenger.
Tonight at 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's the 21st of December. Jay Christopher has the day off, but we have sports for you just about 7 minutes before 7. And I would like to plug in Jay Christopher's electric scoreboard. Take a look at some of the results in the NBA overnight. First of all, on your screen, you see Washington down San Antonio, 108-106. It was Atlanta over New Jersey, 98-87, and Detroit down Dallas by a score of 116-104. It was Kansas City over Denver, 131-114. Phoenix down in Golden State, 109-105, and Los Angeles getting by Seattle by a score of 108-102. In the National Hockey League overnight, we've got a couple of scores to report on. Boston over Hartford 7-2. New Jersey lost to Montreal 6-0. It was Quebec over Vancouver 6-4. In some other National Hockey League action, it was the Islanders just absolutely clobbering Pittsburgh 11-3. And Minnesota defeating St. Louis by a score of 5-2. And now for those of you that are planning to do some ice fishing, we have the fish and game forecast for this morning. You can take a look at it, and it'll show you a couple of good times to go out, and I don't know what you're going to get at 2:15 a.m. except a cold, and 8:15 this evening might also be a good time. Meteorologist Noreen Clark will take another look at this morning's frigid weather forecast in a moment, but first, in case you'd like to check, take a look at last night's winning lottery numbers. First of all, on your screen, the daily number is 824. 824, and the 6 lotto numbers 40, 14, 12, 22, 26, 23, and the alternate number 23. Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment. It's coming up on 4 minutes before 7.
For the past 33 years, the Christmas Holiday Bureau has made it possible for us to bring joy and hope into the lives of many of our less fortunate neighbors. I'm Myron Wetzel, honorary chairman of this year's fund drive, and I'd like to ask your help in continuing this very special Christmas tradition. The need is great. Please send your contribution today to the Christmas Holiday Bureau, 200 Adams Avenue, Scranton 18503. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It's coming up on 2 minutes before 7, and it feels a lot colder than it was yesterday. Very cold out there.
It is, Frank. It's very nippy outside with frost on the windshields. In the backyard, it's now 2 degrees above with -6 below zero, so dress warm. And checking that forecast, we're looking for bright sunshine this morning and very cold temperatures, but the skies become increasingly cloudy this afternoon. Snow develops this evening with 2 to 3 inches possible before changing to sleet and freezing rain late Wednesday night. Ice may become a problem into Thursday morning with sleet and freezing rain. The precipitation may change to all rain during the day tomorrow as temperatures rise into the middle 30s. Snow flurries on Friday and very cold temperatures for Saturday. So watch the roads tomorrow morning.
Good advice. We also want to remind you to watch Route 209 in Smithfield Township. There was a fire this morning at the old Stroudsburg Candy Company building. We are told that there is still some water on Route 209 in Smithfield Township, and the roads there could be very slippery. So if you normally take that route to work or school or whatever, just be very careful. You might hit some icy patches. And of course, we'd also like to remind you to stay tuned for Good Morning America. And of course, there will be the latest on Bob Hope's trip to Lebanon to entertain our troops. And we'll be back at 25 minutes after 7 with an update. Have a good day, everyone.